Hi, everyone, and happy Saturday evening. Excuse the trash bag behind me. I just realized that that was there. Hate that. Happy Saturday. I hope you're all doing well and that you have had fabulous last couple of weeks in placement. What I want to do with all of you today is I'm going to walk you through your behavior intervention plan. This is part of the module for this week, but this is also an additional video that you can always come back to, and you have all of the information that you need. And it also is going to help me to show you some of the websites. So let me share my screen. All right. So the first thing is going to be obviously your behavior intervention plan notebook. You should have already done your behavioral goal. First things first, let me walk you through the welcome pages. So you're not going to have to do anything here with replacing the tabs or anything like that. But here are some resources. There are more in D2L, but these are a couple of resources for you. And then you have your behavioral goal. When you're writing your objective or goal, whatever you want to call it, you're going to use this exact same framework. Okay, so we talked about this a couple of weeks ago in class, but I want you to make sure that you understand it here as well. Remember, you're doing this for Ethan. So condition, where? So during math class, Ethan, what is he going to do? Stated positively. Okay, so it's not, Ethan is not going to swear. It is, Ethan is going to use appropriate language. Okay, some type of criterion. So think about how often you want him to do it. So for 5 days a week, for 30 minutes a day, for 45 minutes a day. And then how long do you want to see him do this? So over a 4-week period, over a 5-week period, something like that. Because remember, behavior intervention plans are more short-term. We're trying to get them to where they need to be. We're going to collect data on it again, which you're not going to do for this time, but you would normally collect data and then move forward. Then you go into your different types of interventions. You have your preventing interventions, and I've stated here what you need to do. So preventing interventions are part of the antecedents. So they go back to your antecedents from your ABC charts. What were causing Ethan to have those problems, and how can we prevent him from having them in the future? What are things we can do to change the environment? You have to have 3 specific preventing interventions. Then you're going to have your teaching interventions. This is kind of what we talked about last week in class, where you're going to teach them a new strategy. So what are strategies that you're going to use to replace the inappropriate behavior? We're going to teach them how to raise his hand. We're going to teach him how to use appropriate language. What are we going to teach him? Okay. Again, this, you need 2 interventions. And then finally, you have your responding interventions, which really, I'll be totally honest with you, and I talk about this week in class. Your responding interventions are the ones you guys are most common with. Okay, these are consequential strategies designed to avoid reinforcing the problem behavior. So natural and educational consequences are a part of the responding interventions. You're going to have a 4-step plan going from least to most restrictive. You must have a minimum of 1 responding intervention, but it's going to be your plan. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry about the detailed rationale. You don't need that. However, I did give for you in your module for this week what step 4 is, and that is a crisis plan. The next part is your rationale. This is going to be the biggest part of your paper. Okay, so this is really looking at how does the BIP relate to the FBA? Okay, so what are the connections? You're going to have description of the replacement behavior. What is the new behavior? A paragraph that explains reinforcers or motivators that you think will be motivating to Ethan. And then you're going to have an explanation for your preventing interventions, your teaching interventions, and responding interventions. Okay, after you've done that, you're going to select 1 intervention. It cannot be the responding interventions. It has to be a preventing or a teaching intervention. And then you're going to talk about how that's going to be implemented. So after you choose one, How are you going to implement it with the student over about 1 to 3 days? Okay, you're going to make sure you include all of this, the rationale, how, when, who, what do you anticipate the student's response to be, and what do you think needs to be changed in the environment for the future? Okay, finally, you have your limitations and considerations. So what are things that we have to think about when it comes to this behavior plan? Okay, so limitations, looking at the barriers that are going to limit the student from changing the behavior. Considerations are other aspects, so family, pull-out services, things like that. And this is going to be 1 paragraph. Okay, then you will be done with your bit. Okay, let me go over to D2L. And in D2L, under here, so if you go to start here, key assessment, and then go to part 2, here are websites for you to use that are going to help you with putting together your behavior plan. I'm going to show you a couple of different ones here. So PBIS World. This is wonderful. Okay, so pick on a behavior. Let's say that one of the behaviors is the student is disrespectful. Okay, Ethan's disrespectful, right? So here are some things that the student might do if they're disrespectful. Does that sound like our student? Yeah, it sure does. So here are some tier 1 interventions. Okay, so acknowledging positive behavior, avoiding power struggles, using card flip or reflection sheet, any of these are tier 1 interventions. Then we can go, we tried tier 1 for, and in this case, I'm just walking you through it because this is going to help you. So here's some tier 2 interventions, all of these here. Okay, when it has teach in front of it, those are teaching interventions. When you click on one, so I'm going to click teach on coping skills. It walks you through everything you need to do. Okay, so here is some resources for you. Here are ways to teach coping skills, ways to deal with an angry child. I mean, there are so many resources here. PBIS World is one of the best websites out there. So if I go back, here's where I was on tier 2. Let's say we're up to tier 3 interventions. And here are tier 3 interventions. Oh, look, an FBA. How about that? Teaching conflict skills, coping skills, relationship skills. Let's look at relationships. So here are why, when should you do it? How do you do it? Different ideas, some other techniques. I mean, this just has so much resources. It has data tracking for the future. If you need things for the future, I mean, everything's right here for you. So obviously I love PBIS World. It's a wonderful resource. You can take all of your ideas from PBIS World if you want. Intervention Central also has some really, really great behavior interventions. Again, I'm going to go here, behavior interventions. Get used to this website. You're going to see academic in the fall. But behavior interventions, here are some apps, here's some self-management skills, here's some stuff for challenging students. Again, look through a talk ticket. So here are some things that you can do with your student. Okay. Again, another really fabulous website. So get used to this website. You're going to come back to it in the fall. It's also a great website to just save for the future. Another website that I've given you here is the Challenging Behavior website. This one's relatively new to me, so I'm learning this one. But here's some teaching tools. Here are some great study guides using study systems, all these different teaching tools. Again, once again, thinking about teaching interventions. And then finally, the last website is National Center on Intensive Interventions, one of my absolute favorite websites. Again, another one you'll see in the fall. So if we want to look at self-management, here are some behavior contracts. Those are super great for kids. Here's some reinforcement strategies. Oh, look, positive and negative reinforcement. You've heard that before. Another type of thing, point sheets. When you're thinking about point sheets, always think about giving points, never taking them away. Okay, so that's your behavior plan. I'm going to put a link in here for you that also has an exemplar for you so that you can see it. And then finally, you have part 3, it's your reflection. Here's where to turn it in, but I do have this spelled out for you right here. So you're going to need that. All of this is due on April 30th. I highly recommend that if you'd like to meet with me, set up a time to meet with me. I'm happy to meet with you, of course, to go over anything with you, look things over in advance. I just realized I have chocolate on the side of my face on days. Can you tell I just ate ice cream? That's great. Anyway, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know if you need help. I'm happy to help walk you through this. This is something new. You're going to see more behavior plans than probably anything that we've talked about this semester. So keep that in mind. Next week is going to be super light because you have 2 weeks to finish up your BIP, and I want you to get those finished by April 30th. If you need me, reach out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine. It's so nice outside today. And I will see you soon. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye.